Hello, I'm Ben. I'm a producer on CSR Racing. Outside of work, I really love my cars. They're a big part of my life. And we're here today to talk about my Audi RS5.
For me, cars are about being able to go further and faster. Every car has its own unique experience. I've been a fan of Audi since 2006 with the launch of the R8, and ever since it's been a poster on my wall.
So my love of cars took a big turn in 2009 when I bought my first Audi. I really loved that car, but from the factory it didn't come with a light in the glove box. And I was told it was impossible to retrofit, which I thought was ludicrous. So I bought the workshop manuals, I bought the parts, and I figured out how to fit it myself. And that gave me a bit of a buzz. So I ended up fitting the factory sat-nav, the cruise control system, xenon headlights. It was very special to me. And then in 2011, I bought an Audi A5 Coupe Black Edition. It was a front-wheel drive 2-litre diesel in Phantom Black. It was a wonderful car. Then in 2012, I decided that I wanted to switch drivetrain, so I went with an Audi A5 Coupe Black Edition again, this time in Daytona Grey Pearl Effect, with a 2-litre petrol engine and the Quattro permanent all-wheel drive. With this car, I started by fitting a symmetrical exhaust system, so I took the S5 exhaust. Then I wanted slightly more snug, racy seats, so I fitted the RS Super Sport seats. Then I fitted the RS5 brakes on all 4 corners, took the 20-inch alloys from the A5, but wrapped them in Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres. And then I fitted Audi hill hold assist, adaptive cruise control, high beam assist, side assist, RS5 electric rear spoiler, electric rear sunblind, digital TV tuner, RS aluminium buttoned control panel, and it was a really, really fantastic car. But I'd taken it to the point where it had just about every option that was available on the A5 and some, and I was looking for something that was a little bit more exciting. So I found a 2011 Audi RS5 Coupe Quattro Black Edition, about 200 miles away from where I was living. And the challenge was migrating all of these awesome options, upgrades and components that had been fitted to my A5 into their new home in the higher performing RS5. So I planned a mega marathon of retrofitting over a 24-hour period and 800 miles of UK motorway in order to make this happen. So I ended up with an awesome Audi RS5 with a ton of really cool options and gadgets, albeit with a slightly older front end. And although the facelift was definitely on the cards, I wanted to start with something exotic and unique. So I found a company called Eventury who made carbon fiber intake systems, and they were developing a kit for the RS5, but they needed to borrow a car to complete the development. So they ended up borrowing my car on and off for about 6 months in order to develop this kit. They used 3D printing to test the fitment, to check that the parts fitted together, that they seated in the engine bay properly. They performed thermal imaging and temperature readings of the intakes themselves and the engine bay. They performed flow testing, and they performed dyno testing, where they ran the car on a rolling road to measure the performance and make sure the increase was as expected. So I wanted to save a little bit of weight, so I removed the rear seats and started working on a rear seat delete project, converting it into a storage area, as this didn't actually exist for the RS5. I really like the ambient lighting in the door cards of a lot of other cars, so I manufactured an aluminium strip to create a lip underneath the decorative trim on my door card, and then fitted LEDs behind it and wired them into the lighting system so that I could have this effect. At this point, I'd put a few miles on the car. I needed to replace the brake discs and the pads, but this is quite a lot of work, so I wanted to get something else out of my time. So I took the opportunity to replace the dust guards, replace the brake lines with stainless steel braided ones, to ceramic coat the new discs on the hubs and the outer edges, and to strip back the calipers to bare metal and then rebuild them in the factory red finish with the correct decals. The Eventuri intake system makes a great sound, but I really wanted to finish off this German muscle car with an aggressive and beastly sounding exhaust note. So originally I wanted a titanium system for weight saving, but the Capristo system was already a third of the weight of the stock setup, so this was perfect, it checked off that box. It also allowed me to retain the valves for the loud and quiet settings that I had from factory. Again, this was perfect. So I ended up with a Capristo valved non-resonated exhaust system. I was out at SEMA in Las Vegas and I met the guys from CSRBen Carbon. I love the quality of their products, and they told me that they could manufacture a full carbon fiber hood for my Audi RS5, but the lead time would be 4 to 6 months. Needless to say, I placed an order so that I could get the ball rolling with the rest of my front end conversion. In that time, I got in touch with a company called EM Tuning, who were able to customize a set of brand new Audi headlights for me. We painted the interior housings satin and gloss black. We redesigned the LED daytime running light to be more in keeping with Audi's current design language. We fitted new ballasts and bulbs so that they would create crisp white light that could compete with the latest headlight technology. They created dynamic sweeping indicators, another current Audi design language. And to finish it off, we etched the lenses with the RS logo, which is a beautiful finishing detail. While I was waiting for CSRBen and EM Tuning to deliver my new hood and headlights, I collected all of the other body panels and nuts and bolts required to change over my front end. But by the time the parts had arrived, I didn't actually have a place suitable for fitting these myself. I had done all of the work on all of my cars myself, and I really didn't want this to be an exception. So I actually bought a wedding pavilion and some rubber matting to set up a temporary workshop for a few days, just to be able to get this job done. I test fitted the headlights to make sure that all of the electrical systems were working properly, and then I lifted up the car, removed the old end, and fitted the new one. I actually left blue tape all over the primed front bumper for a few days while I made up my mind about what I wanted to do with paint. And eventually I decided that I wanted to leave the carbon fiber hood exposed but color match the front bumper so that it would stay nice and subtle, but you'd get this really nice carbon fiber detail when you came up to the car. At this point I've got a gorgeous Audi RS5 Coupe. It sounds incredible, it looks exactly the way I want it to, and it's got almost all of the latest components that Audi have to offer for the B8 platform. The one component that was left for me to upgrade was the steering wheel. So I took the latest B8 RS5 steering wheel and I had it customized to add carbon fiber detailing at the top and bottom to match the rest of the cool components in the car. With the steering wheel being the final piece of the puzzle, my RS5 build has finally come to a natural conclusion, and it's exactly where I'd always hoped it would get to. But now I'm ready for my next build challenge.